etc., etc. The next thing is they had a bunch of people transfer to BCSO, which inherently I don't have a problem with. But as it turns out, the mayor of Sandy wants to change processing so that BCSO can process people down here and they get the money for it. And so now I'm just like, I'm just like, I kind of feel like I'm the governor indirectly of San Andreas. And I have to argue for decisions made by the feds. And the impression of pointing out the obvious is, I think, causing problems that I don't know if I want to deal with, because you know what I mean? Like, how do I put this? When you put it all together, right? It just kind of feels like a lot of people are kicking their feet and being very strange about it. And having to argue things that are outside of my control is, and have been very clear to anybody that's read this shit or seen what's happened, that the feds came in and changed some shit, and having to argue the realities of our world is getting very exhausting. So that's kind of where I'm at with some things. And so
she's trying to come to all the high command meetings?
Yeah, no, yeah, and I don't, like I said, I don't particularly have a problem with it, but why is it an issue when we sort of haven't done anything, but then the opposite is happening up there? It's just, it gives me a bit of a headache. Like, kind of
like, I don't know, it feels a little like she doesn't trust Bones and them to be able to do their jobs, and she wants a hand in it.
That's what LSPD said.
She has the authority to replace them, though, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't she just do what Nino did and pick a command structure that he trusts? I don't know. Is that such a crazy thing to propose?
So she said that she wants to get the money for the arrest that they make down here.
Well, yeah, it's like circumventing the division of counties.
Who the fuck does she think she is?
I don't know. And then there's, like, I get these notes and they're talking about me and my intentions. And I'm just like, I haven't even spoken to them.
Who was talking about you and your intentions?
I don't know. BCSO and Andi. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, they're dividing us and all this kind of shit. Yeah, it's already fucking divided.
Yeah, there's a line. I've seen the map.
Yeah. Like, so at what point do you have to treat them like this? They're, you know, like they need helmets, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like you're talking to someone who's like colorblind, and you're having to explain to them that there's a fucking rainbow in the sky and that it's not black and white, and they're just getting pissed at it.
Is Daisy entertaining the idea of them getting paid, or is she very against?
No,
it?
she brought it up, but I'm just kind of like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, I'm like, why are we arguing what the feds have done for us? You know what I mean? Like, why is this the point of contention? Bring it up to the feds. It's just, it's like, it almost feels like they're so upset about what the feds decided. They're taking it out on whoever they can. But what, like, having to argue on behalf of the feds is, I don't even know the full intentions, right? I just know that we got a voter base, and we got citizenry, and we got a PD, and we're making sure that they get the right pockets are getting the money. Like, what the fuck? And then all the while, there's no BCSO up there, and what the fuck have they done to even improve Blaine County? It's actually fucking triggering me.
You know what I would do if I were you? And I'll be honest. I would legislate away their jurisdiction in the county and then just sit back. That's honestly what I would do.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, no, I'm with you with that. And listen, that is something that I would do. But my problem is that I'm getting this like impression from just these notes and the way they've been moving is that that, you know, it's gonna turn very sour in a lot it's going to turn very sour really quickly, right? Because if we haven't really done anything yet, and they're already fucking crying,
Yeah.
like, I'm afraid of what's going to happen next, right? And I don't necessarily want to deal with what's next.
Yeah,
That's
no,
just my
I hear
transparent
ya.
concern.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I hear you.
I don't want
hear
things
you.
to cross into some line that is just, not why I'm in the city for,
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Honestly, to me though, it doesn't make sense. Where you work for the LSPD, you transfer to the BCSO, yet everything you do is in Los Santos County, and you just want to bitch about it. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So, if you want to be part of the action, and you attend every LSPD meeting, and you act like you're part of the team, why did you transfer to BCSO?
Exactly. Why would you fucking, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Has there already been transfers?
There has been quite a bit. But the thing is, yeah, no, that's exactly it. And the fact of the matter is, nobody fucking loses anything if the city is limited patrol. And so by boosting the numbers and just bringing them down south and just saying, let me just circumvent everything, and then say, oh, you're the bad guy if you stop us, is fucking, like, just straight fucking brain dead.
Yeah.
Are they transferring because of Moss?
I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. So like I said, before I pull my dick out, I'm gonna just get like clarity on this, because like I said, for me, it's, where is this impression coming from? Why are you not conversing about those concerns? What the fuck is the point? It seems like a lot of backdoor bullshit, and if it's hurting feelings and shit for whatever fucking reason, it's definitely being misdirected. Yeah. All right. So, all right. I'm going to, all right. So 10 pieces of legislation. Oh, wait. Let me ask you guys, how have you been?
Good. Honestly, much needed break.
I'm fine.
All right.
Did some gardening.
Oh, yeah?
Can't beat it. Peace and quiet. Vegetables and shit don't lie to you. You know how it is.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's true.
Who hurt you?
You ever been lied to by a vegetable? My parents. Thanks for asking.
Oh, Lord. Jeez.
Yeah. Can of worms. Would you like to open me?
No, I'm good. I'm going to keep that shit shut.
That's what I thought.
I think the big thing I want to kind of focus on today is reviewing each piece of legislation. I think in said legislation, it should primarily focus on making sure that it makes. So I gave feedback to Bill. He's been a fucking champion. So you're all aware, I've known this guy longer than any other lawyer, minus fucking, what was his name? God damn it. Murphy, yeah. I've known him about as long. He's very good, and I want to bring him onto the team. He's already proven himself, and I think he's going to be a fantastic boon to all of us. When I put things into perspective, we've been in office for, what, 3 weeks now? As of tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot left to be done, and I want to try to close out on as many of our promises as we can in this first month. And I think he can help us achieve that. In fact, I am fucking floored with how much he wrote. My contention is he wrote some of the legislation a little too spicy. While I'm very down with the whole Blaina thing and making it fun, I think part of me is kind of like, I think people are getting upset about it. Give me a sec.
Mr. Mayor.
Hey, let me call you back. Give me a call in an hour. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
sounds good to me.
Appreciate you.
All right. No, no problem. Bye.
All right. Take care. So removing that out of, you know, it's just going to add to this whole, like, oh my God, like Nino Chavez split the fucking county. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I told them to kind of dial down on that. The other thing I told them to dial down on is anything that's in legislative writing that references, too much administration. Like in the toll thing, he was talking about like a toll administration. I said, let's keep it simple. It's the powers of the mayor. And down the line, we could section off if there's a need for another administrative body, as opposed to me just saying, all right, tolls are now this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, less moving pots, the better. How's your experience been with him? I don't know if you've spoken to Bill at all.
I spoke to
haven't
Bill
personally.
over the phone and through email.
Hell yeah. What do you think so far, Abilene?
He sounds enthusiastic.
Yeah.
We're not long conversations. I was sort of just making sure he was introduced to the Trello, and just wanted to know what he was working on.
Yeah.
I looked at some of his work. That's about it.
Okay, good shit.
I
I
think he's
think
fantastic. Bring him on. He's been doing a shit ton of work.
yeah, I think anyone who's been pumping in should be afforded being brought in. You know what I mean? No one should be like, if they're cooking for the city, let's bring them in. Fuck it. Let's you know. On the flip side, if people aren't cooking, we gotta get them off the books. And I've got zero emotional attachment to any particular person. No offense. I will say though, I think all of you three have been cooking. So if it's in the back of your mind, because at the end of the day, that's taxpayer money, and this administration needs to be one that cooks. Actually, I take it back. You need to get on top of scheduling my fucking meetings.
I knew you were gonna say something about me. Why did I know? Why did I feel in my brain that you were gonna say some
How's
shit?
the pet
I'm not
legislation?
starting with you today. Actually, I just sent it to you. You can look at it.
Good. All right.
Yep. The entire thing's going to change, though. You know how big of a task that is? Nino, do you know how big of a task that you put on me? We have nothing for pets. Nothing. We have nothing set up. But I'm getting there.
Could you send this to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
What's going on, Archibald? Just looking at Tilly's, why is this called the Hank Act?
Mr. What's the assistant chief's name again? I lost it.
Peters.
Mr. Peter's dog passed away, unfortunately, 2 days ago, and I told him I would name the pet legislation after his dog.
You wrote this?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Not bad.
It's all going to be changed, though. I got into contact with Tessa, and we're working together to... basically, she said the last time pets came, into the city, it was a huge headache and a bunch of issues, and I'm working with her on the legislation, and I'm working with her on potentially owning a business for it. I really want her to take it over and be the main face of it, because she has such a love for animals. I think she'd be wonderful.
And that's fine.
She is a felon,
can.
though.
Yeah. Don't promise her any pet shop or anything like that. That's outside of, what we can do. Other people should be able to. You know what I'm saying? We can't promise her that, right?
No. Yeah, I told her there was no guarantee.
But, well, yeah, if she's a felon, what do you mean? Felons can own shops.
That's what I told her, but she seemed very concerned about it, so.
Yeah, let her know that felons, I'm not, going to restrict the rights of the citizens from not owning businesses, as long as she's not,
She said she was mainly worried about the reaction that she would get from officers versus not being able to do it.
No, I don't. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. See if you can get this sorted by end of day, and know that each one of these things, I want to do a best effort at it. We can always alter these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing that I want you to sort out is that PD dogs, canines. Let me know when you're ready to take notes.
Go ahead.
PD dogs are gonna be its own category. If you kidnap it, it will be half of a human on all charges, half of a police officer.
I met with the PD yesterday and discussed some charges too, as well.
Okay.
To bring up to you. I don't know if you want to do that now. We can have a discussion about it later. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch
yeah.
I have to talk to you about this actually.
Yeah, I think it reasonably, it's a PD dog is half of an officer, and as such, the kidnapping, the assault, etc., will be like half of one.
Okay. Half of you okay.
As pets will be bred 50% local dog and 50% actual dog.
What in the fuck does that mean?
Well, because locals don't have lives, lives don't matter, and you know, pet lives do. But if you crossbreed them, you know,
They matter half
They
as
only
much.
kind of matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna be
second
straightforward in
thing,
saying I have slight problems with the wording of that, but let's continue.
the second thing is because of our ability to only, you know, import in half breeds, they may be expected to act in manners in which are unexpected.
How do you
Like, you know how locals go crazy? Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you want there to be like if the dog goes crazy, there's no repercussions for it, or is it just something that
Canine units have prosecutorial immunity. Done.
and it is the owner that will take responsibility of the animal. So, like, if the animal does something, it is reflected on the owner or the handler.
Okay, so the handler takes full responsibility for the dog.
Yes. Authorized and approved pet businesses will be authorized to sell like foods and shit to it that can like make the dog smarter. They can be trained to do more things, and they can level up. We'll be importing different breeds: fire, wind.
What the hell are you talking? Are you fucking with me right
The
now?
fucking
No.
Last Airbender or some shit?
What the hell are you talking about?
Earth,
Earth, Wind, and Fire is a pretty good band.
water.
Okay, all right, you're fucking with me.
No, I'm serious.
You know, I was writing notes about
no,
that.
I actually want you putting it in there. I'm not
What?
even kidding.
Okay. Continue.
Also, right. There should be a cost that you can put a tracker in the pet.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna TLDR you this real quick
Yeah.
because I think it'll add on to what you're saying, right? When I spoke to Miss Tessa, she gave me insight on what she thought would be best. The idea that we came up together was basically the pet store would be run by kind of locally. You know what I mean? Like you go in there and you buy
Nah,
the
nah,
pet
nah, nah.
locally. Listen,
No.
right? The reason it'd be locally, okay, is because after you buy the pet locally, you then have the pet transferred to your MDT. So it's in your profile, so everyone can see that you have a pet there, right? The police department with the rangers, as well as the city hall, okay? But then not only that, right? The pet would be similar to a car in the sense that it could be tracked, and in the sense that you could get it from like your house or something of that sort. So that's what the idea was in that sense, was almost to make it as if it was a vehicle in a pet form.
I don't agree with that because we as the city wants to move away from like local dealers. It should be a pet dealership. Like you go there, you can see the pets, etc., etc. You have like a license that you get you would present. It should be that you go and present that you got a license for owning a pet, and then the pet store can sell it to you. And yeah, I want people interactions, not fucking locals.
Meowsleys.
How do you still feel about even if like it was
I like that name.
owned,
That's good.
Sorry.
right?
even if it was like owned and run through by a person, how do you feel about it having their
No.
pets attached to their MDT? Oh no.
Yeah. They have to register the pet. It would show up on their MDT. There might be some logic to it, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't like the idea that there's like a local,
That's fine. How do you feel about, so some of the conditions I have for ownership is if you want a canine, you have to have a residential property, and if you want a feline, you can have an apartment or residential property. Do you care about that, or does it not matter?
Ooh, nah, let's not restrict people.
Okay.
Not our problem.
Okay. I also have I have the register the animal and whatnot, but I also have a fee that comes with the adoption. It's called the adoption fee, and that's going to be on top of whatever the animal costs, and that's
Yep.
going to go to like the state. I have it for 50,000 for dogs and cats, and then the exotic fee goes up pretty high, like $200,000+.
I'd say leave the exotic TBD.
Okay.
Exotic, like exotic pets, will be evaluated once available for importation.
Yeah, and I have it. If you want an exotic pet, you have to be approved by the state in order to get one before you can ever get one. I have it down that animals receive monthly veterinary visits, but Tessa said that that's not a good idea. Because-
Why?
We already had a vet established. I think that could be good.
Yeah,
until we get one.
I
maybe?
agree
don't
with
know.
that. I want to see vets.
She said the issue with vets was it was really hard to manage, and that nobody would actually take their animals to the vet, and when they didn't, it
Yeah,
was
they're gonna
hard
die.
to... Oh, wait, you think that that's...
Yeah.
The only issue I see coming up
Oh,
with that is
that's
what
such a
if
good
the
idea.
vets are not available.
What do you mean
on
an
a regular
idea?
basis?
What do you
That's
mean?
such a good plan.
I'm not developing dogs. I'm just saying if you don't bring it to the fucking vet, it's
Well,
probably
I don't
gonna
know,
die.
According to Tessa, the dogs back in her time were like fucking... They were...
No, you
pound
got to
houses,
take
okay?
care
They
of
never
them. You got to
died.
feed it, right? You got to feed the dog. Actually put it in there that it's going to be responsible that they have to take care of the dog, include feeding, etc., bringing it to the vet. If it dies, like,
Time to buy another one.
yeah.
Are you good with that, the fee that I have though, the $50,000.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. We also have the animal gets seized by animal control, quote, quote, and that's going to be the ranges.
There are
I've
no
talked to them a
rangers,
little
though.
bit about it. What'd you say?
There are no rangers, though.
They're setting it up. They're working on it.
Oh, okay.
Another department?
I would say we'll be.
No, it's going to be like a certification, I think.
I think, say, the Los Santos Police Department has authority on dog sieges. And then we leave it up to them, however they do their SOPs around that. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, right? And this is kind of the thing that I'm kind of. Oh wait, let me get Bill down here too. Where I'm kind of going with this is we don't need to push the best legislation. It can be like 90% there as long as it's like coherent. And if we need to further develop it, we just push revisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to mention, we're gonna find things work and things don't work as you know, things change.
For penalties, I have that they will be prohibited for owning an animal. Like if they, fail to meet the criteria, they're prohibited for owning an animal for 3 months, and they have to pay a $20,000 fine. But I feel like that should be more. Do you think that 3 months is too much, or should I
Wait, what is
lessen it?
3 months?
So if you found like basically like abusing the animal and not following the criteria to own one, you can't have an animal for 3 months.
Nah.
Okay.
Let them, like, I think this goes hand in hand with the vibe that the people want. And that is, look, you pay for your crimes, you're done. Why stop someone from going again? You know what I mean?
Okay. You don't think there should be any time if
Mm-mm.
okay.
Like, if someone becomes like a serial dog abuser and that becomes a problem in Los Santos and then the people want that, then we come in. You know what I mean? And we say, okay, this is now an issue. Let's put it in. Remember, a government that says yes, not a government that says no. And I think
Okay.
one of the biggest problems with the last administration and Blame County with the shit that they're passing is like, how do we fuck people in the ass? How do we tell people, like, how do we put into legislation gotchas? When the reality is that things are going to happen. And if they become a problem and the people want it to change, then we can come in and say, all right, let's pass legislation that might be, you know, to go after that.
How do
I
you
don't
feel
want
about the
people to
neglect
get
fine?
scared not to do anything. Right? They're like,
Yeah.
oh no, I didn't mean to do this, but what if I, you know?
Can I call you back? What?
No erping with dogs or pets.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that should you can't have sex with your pet or you're banned for that goes for you.
Don't
you know.
actually put that
Alright.
in there.
I'm
But
not putting How do you feel about the fine? Or should I keep it or take it away?
what's the fine?
$20,000 if your pet gets taken away.
Have them lose the license.
Lose their license so they
Yeah,
can't get a
and
pet?
They have to
Oh, they have
lose
to
the
redo it.
license, and it would have to get reissued.
Yeah, and then they got to pay the fee for the license and go through any other
Ah,
certification
okay.
program as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of 20,000, just say you lose the license. So that's a better approach to it. Is if you do some shit, then you're losing the license and you have to reapply.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to see in this?
Obviously the canine stuff that I mentioned.
Okay.
See if you can cook that up after this meeting or whatever. And that's gonna go for everything. We're gonna pass best efforts on all this shit, and that way too. If there's problems like early on, we get feedback immediately from the DOJ, instead of like trying to be perfect and then getting hit on like the most basic thing. I feel like there was something else.
Was that's your first ever piece of legislation, Telly?
Yeah.
That was our first draft?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. I took I took Billy Mays's like what he put. I don't know what the hell like the half of this shit means. So I
You
put,
modeled
like,
it after someone else. Yeah, you used an example. That's perfectly fine. I was
Yeah, I
like,
used
for
the
a first
example.
shot at one of these, that's really fucking good.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
I tried.
One thing, since Tilly, you'll probably be presenting this to the people. Keep in mind that if there's any anti-pet owners in the audience, right? Do not like if there's any like protesting. I don't want you to be like, listen, fuck you, I'm speaking. You know?
Oh. Yes.
All right.
Do you think I would do that?
That would be an awful political move. No, I'm just pointing it out.
I would never do that. Unless they're from Blaine County, then I would.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's hit. Okay. Good job, Tilly. Good fucking work. Archibald, how's your legislation looking?
I have got the initial part about the actual filming in public ready for y'all to look at. I think it's good to go, but I watch that. Yeah, and then I'm working with Michael on actually getting clothes together for the appropriate actual uniform for people. I've got the specific set of helmets and a specific set of vests picked out, but beyond that, we were thinking about trying to get a decal or just completely get a whole new vest made by the manufacturer if that's possible.
I think similar to what I was advising Tilly, is that we do best effort with what we got, and then we pass like another iteration of it with the decal. The idea being is that we're showing that there's value and we can make something, you know? Because
yeah, all right.
While we are talking about this, though, the reason I'm against doing a decal is that I feel like then anyone can throw the decal on in any outfit, and then over time, people who are working in a news capacity may feel like they have flexibility in the uniform, rather than just giving them a helmet and a vest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is actually a part of one other thing I was wanting to bring up. While we can definitely just start with just the helmet and vest for now, that's not a problem, and I can have it done with just that by the end of today. I think that once we actually get proper press clothing set up, if we ever do, we might want to actually put in like an impersonating a news person charge or something of that nature if necessary. But I mean, only if it really comes up as a problem. If it doesn't come up, it's not a big deal. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think well, let's pull this up. Where is it? Is it on the Trello?
Yeah, it is.
Wait, what is it called? I can't find it. What is it? I think I'm blind.
It's in the in review section. LS Public Photography
and Video. Okay, sorry. I was looking the wrong thing. Okay, I'm gonna okay, so the first and foremost is the public must provide space to law enforcement to conduct their duties. Not doing so
Yeah.
opens them up to, criminal charges. They must also adhere to any lawful directives if it pertains to their safety or the police being able to conduct their job. Law enforcement officers must use discretion when giving lawful orders for the public. Law enforcement officers must use good judgment and discretion when giving lawful orders, and must be underlined for their safety or their ability to operate, something along those lines. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you're gonna want to spruce that up. So in other words, like, what it's saying in there is like, you need to be articulable. You need to be able to that lawful order must be articulable. Just so we don't have cops saying like, "Oh my God, we don't want you to film," you know?
No, I understand that entirely. Set some kind of like, I don't know, minimal distance, or word it as minimal distance, or something of that nature. I'll figure it out. I'll have it fit.
Yeah, we'll line it with like normal. How it's done in the United States is like it's up to the discretion of the police department, but they inherently can, like, they need to know what they're doing on their end, but we're just kind of calling that out.
Yeah, that's fine. I can get that down to the enforcement section. It should work for that.
Beautiful. The next thing is I want you to make a separate ordinance for the press and write that up where they actually have the authority to be closer to call out that in the event of a active shootout, press citizens must provide 1 block distance from law enforcement for their safety and your own. The press can be are not going to be restricted by that. They can be they must give safe distance from law enforcement and active criminals.
So you want me to use the language that the average citizen must give safe distance, is what you're saying?
Safe distance of 1 block,
1 block,
whereas
or
the
more.
press, it's only going to be safe distance.
Okay, gotcha.
And so because safe is subjective, we're kind of leaving it up to the press, but also law enforcement to use their best judgment. And obviously cook up all the stuff about like what they got to wear and all that.
Okay, yeah. I can get that in there, not a problem.
All right, good shit. Okay. Also, if you're able to cook up best effort for that today, we'll also push that out.
I can have this done by the end of the day, easy.
Easy, good shit. All right. Now, Abilene, you are working on the refutation of the internal documents. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're talking about...
Wait, could you speak normally? I think you're whispering.
Contesting FOIA legislation through an appeal.
Mm-hmm. Any, has that looked good? Like, where's your progress in that so far?
Outside of what I've already had, I haven't proceeded with that yet. I believe I mentioned would circle back with you today.
Okay.
And then work on it this weekend based on how we're gonna pay it.
Oh,
or
it's gonna
when
come
you
out
wanted
of.
me to get that.
Yeah, you're
So
just gonna.
I'll just submit it and then
receipt me.
I don't even worry about the payment.
Yeah, and just receipt me with like, hey, hey, like I'm filing this and I need 50,000 compensated, and I'll just transfer it from the state account.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll come right with you with the bill.
Oh, yeah. That works.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, I got you. Easy. Okay, there was something else you're working on as well. I believe that was like the receipting for our legislators. Am I tripping? Jiffy Pop 19 months.
The contract, the NDA type thing.
Yes.
I sent that directly to your email. And I think I don't know if you didn't see it by the time I sent it to you, but you know, that's kind of the idea that I got from you with that. Now, if that Google Form system isn't suitable, essentially I could just take that same data and it's just basically the kind of format you want it in. You know, you're saying
Google Form is good. I think lock it behind like a. They need to. Is there a way to do it so they can only some people can read it or whatever?
Well, what we can do is put the link to the. Okay, so you generate a link to give to people for the Google Forms, but we put that link in a phone document, right? Or contract. We share it with the person. They sign that contract, you know, assuring that they got the link, because the Google Form data, anyone could say, oh, that's not my Gurgle account that read and agreed that, or et cetera, et cetera.
Nah. I wouldn't worry about people doing like weird shit. They'd get ripozoed. I'd be more concerned like when you look at this form, if like prying eyes might see it. You know what I mean?
Well, there's not a lot of. I mean, it's no different. It's no different than prying eyes seeing a Trello. If that's what you mean.
Yeah. Like,
well, can't they, you know?
Can anyone put their email in this?
Yeah.
Oh, if they see the link.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, they could sort of copy that letter for letter and then end up in there. They can't edit it, but they can answer the questions and sign it.
So what the police department does, right, is like whenever they give out that same thing, they send it on their phone, right? And on the phone it says, you know, don't give this out to anybody, but it also has a passcode.
Let's do that.
You would say silently.
Yeah, password. Yeah. You can password protect this form.
Okay. That's a feature not immediately aware of, but I'll figure that out.
All right. Okay, that's gonna be good. 2,000 billable an hour seems excessive.
It's essentially this. We're just calling it a billable rate, and we're saying the minimum and maximum time that you should have to work on this is 5 hours. And I've got that basically from my own experience with that. It's basically five.
So it's gonna be $10,000 per legislation.
Yeah, because that's where you want to be with the minimum, and then you know you can adjust that with we can make a different one if someone's doing something really big or how whatever. But that's it's kind of like billable per hour, minimum, maximum, same thing, doesn't matter. 5 hours, write legislation. When you sit down on a computer for 5 hours, you should come back with something.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Bill's on the way, by the way. Is there anything you guys want to bring up before Bill comes through?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of legislation coming up in the system. I just kind of been looking at it. I made a comment on Michael's lottery one. Nothing bad at all. Just a thought I had about maybe adding extra information. But is there anything apart from those two things fun you could put me on?
Yeah, 100%. What would you like to work on? Actually, I know. Okay, let me see if Rami's around. Okay, when Rami is around, for some reason, people are taking suspects and bringing them to Blaine County and processing them.
Okay, I was actually wanting to bring this up too. Go ahead. Yeah.
And so, when it happened to Peanut, and then it happened to Rami, and the TLDR is Blaine County is on some dumb shit, just straight up, where they're pretty much making a department that circumvents Los Santos County, operating down here and then going up north and pressing, right? And I think the way that they're operating is extremely gross and extremely bad faith, and they're kind of fucking LSPD in the ass. And
Yeah.
in turn, also Blaine County. I was rather taken aback why they're not building up Blaine County. Half the shit that we're writing isn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's why are people gonna go up there if there's nobody up there?
Yeah.
You're creating a catch-22. And for me, from a health of the LSPD perspective, if half the money is going into some other county's budget, then this county that is going to, in the long term, need more equipment to handle the biggest crimes in the city, they're going to be sitting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fucking brain dead.
Okay.
Furthermore, this whole, like, bringing people up north is starting to piss off some criminals. So I want to know, like, how much it's happening and sort of seeing if we can cook something up.
I just happened to be watching a bench trial the other day where the crime was definitely committed down here in Los Santos County. This guy was dressed up like a superhero and assaulted somebody. Bones apparently was the arresting officer and acted as prosecution during the bench trial, and ended up taking him up to BCSO afterwards, even though everything happened down here in LS.
You know what it should be? It should be citizens have a right to refuse.
Okay, so sounds
Right to refuse transport.
this sounds very similar to the document Bill Mays submitted called the Anti-Extradition Act. So if that's something you're talking about assigning me, perhaps, I think
Yeah.
Bill Mays has done most of the legwork on here, although I can see some things.
I think you
require
could partner
adjusting.
up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, Bill is going to be cranking a lot of that out, and I feel like, but you have a lot more, like, you know those guys better. So
I can help him edit it for sure.
yeah, I think
Also,
right
I
to
never got-
refuse makes sense in that if you committed a crime in Los Santos, you can say, no, I want to be processed down here.
Got it. I also never received a draft from Robin. You know, I don't know if he's busy or not, but I don't much feel like
Come on over.
chasing him around for a draft. So he hasn't sent it to me. He hasn't sent it to me. That's about that.
Hey guys,
Hey, how you
Hey there,
doing?
there.
been better.
What happened to you?
Long story short, renegade tow driver stole my car, held at ransom, ran me over. Cops wouldn't take a statement. Had to walk from Mosley's to the hospital because EMS wouldn't come. It's been a long day.
Well, hey, I hope you get better soon.
Brian does.
I'm gonna be bringing you into cabinet.
I don't have to get my bar, do I?
Nope.
Okay.
You should
No,
try to
I'm
get
still
it.
Paralegal.
I think you should too, Archibald,
speaking
at
of
this
bar.
stage.
I'm definitely trying
Oh, yeah. I emailed Norman Adams about Archibald,
Mhm.
and I said, look, I'm vouching for him. He's been a paralegal a very long time. All the work that I've been seeing him do has been great. You know, I think it's time for him to get his bar. And I didn't get a reply back on that, but I believe other people have done the same thing for him, and it's just again, we're falling into the same cycle of DOJ where paralegals have fallen by the wayside, I feel.
Yeah.
And you could help this situation. You know, I think if me and you take Archibald when Adams is around, like to him, face to face combo.
Yeah, I agree.
If you feel he's ready, assuming.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is, and I don't think the DOJ. First off, I'm not. I've been trying to ignore the marshals. I'm not a big fan of. Well, I'm going to be transparent about a couple things. We had a videotape outside my office, and I called LSPD down. New up and coming detective comes down, and the marshals just show up. And I'm just like, what? Oh, I guess you have a
There's the
copy.
tape. I have 8 copies
How?
because they were just spreading them around. Like I went there a few days ago and they were just all over the floor.
And in that moment, I'm just like, why do they try to, like, I don't even know what the fuck marshals are anymore. Like, I cannot in any reasonable way be like, they write legislation, they can change it at any time, they, like, seemingly go after everybody in the PD, they apparently get to investigate big gangs, and I'm not saying like fuck the marshals type shit, but more from the perspective of like, you know, the basic principle of a balance of power seems to have this. It's everything Max wanted to be. But my fear is eventually they get bored and they start doing brain dead shit. And when
Every time.
Yeah, every time. Yeah. It's so I'm disappointed that in that front. But you know, what are you gonna do? You know? Yes. So Bill, I want you to work with Abilene to speak with Rami in regards to what happened to him, Peanut as well. And I think where we're going with this is this whole like extradition thing is that the citizen, if they committed the crime in Los Santos, right, they have the right to refuse transport outside of the county.
Okay. Have you looked at the Anti-Extradition Act?
No, we're gonna all pull it up right now and let's go through it.
All right. I made it spicy. I don't know if that's good or not, but
Yep.
I'll take any.
Yeah,
feedback.
always take the spice and then we can always dial it down if necessary. All right. As stated with the Constitution, do we have right to a speedy trial in Los Santos?
Yes.
That, in theory, could be leaned on this. No.
Yeah. There's a whole legislation on due process.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that falls under it. Easy.
Additionally, we may have to appeal the current jurisdiction legislation as it may not be detailed enough or file for an amendment. Like jurisdiction defined and what that entails, and within that, take care of the root problem, simply prohibiting them from being able to do that in one sentence.
Yeah, that's in part 2.2 of the legislation in anti-immigration. I've quoted the current legislation and the powers afforded to by the mayor and so to officers and deputies.
Well, one thing, Mr. Mayes, our jurisdiction is Los Santos County.
Yeah.
I can see this running in. So you're saying if a Blaine County officer does it, they're subject to termination. We can't, from our jurisdictional legislative capability, make that call.
I noticed that too.
No,
I was wondering about that.
there's no reference to a deputy being terminated.
An
you
officer who
reading point I?
violates shall be subject to immediate
Yeah, so if you
termination.
go under definition, officer refers to Los Santos Police Department LEOs, regardless of rank. Deputy specifies Blaine County officers, so that way it's easier to separate it within the legislation.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
But it's the problem is the Blaine officers doing it. So
yeah, that's a massive civil suit.
we're legislators here. So.
Let's roll back a bit. I see the premise of where you're going with this. I also see Abby's point. I think the contention here is, give me a sec. I wish I could talk. And I could, but hold on. I'm gonna do that right now. Give me a sec. Let me. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, easy. So
you'll have to let me know how you did that later.
Oh, you gotta. I'm thinking about not pushing to talk and then being voice activated on my phone. I figure this is gonna be good for the meeting. If I say anything weird, my bad. Yo, fuck this Bill Mays guy. Like Jesus fucking Christ, look at him right now.
Excuse me?
Oh shit, my bad. I'm just fucking with you. Oh Jesus, what the fuck? Wait, that happened today too?
It's
No.
another hole. Lucky.
It was when I represented a couple terrorists back in the day, and they questioned my loyalty, so they had people leave me in a coal mine up north with a stab wound that wasn't, how was it put to me? Wasn't fatal, but severely crippling.
Jesus Christ.
So looking back at this, hold on, what is this text?
Can you put things in that hole? Like, can you hold stuff with that?
Gee, Tilly, what the fuck?
I was just curious.
It's not a prison wallet. Relax.
I was just wondering. I was seeing what he could put in there. It's kind of cool. It's
Hey, you don't have to vocalize every thought.
Guys, we got so much to go through. I know this is gonna be a very packed meeting.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read through it, and then we'll if we have contention points, we'll kind of discuss. So as stated with the Constitution of San Andreas, all citizens shall be afforded the opportunity to due process. The mayor of Los Santos County will hereby define the following. The mayor of Los County will hereby define the following scenarios to clarify expectation of officers acting within any person, regardless of residence, who's arrested within the county limits, or the right to due process and speedy trial. As such, I think let's just make it straight up and clear that as such, a person just front and center, said suspect will have the right to refuse extrajudicial detainment, and will therefore have the right to be processed within Los Santos County if the crime took place there. You know what I'm saying? Just call it just straight outright.
And I imagine LSPD officers have an issue with the Blaine officers doing this right now. Yes.
I don't care.
They don't care.
I think they're okay with it.
I'm making a. Okay, I was gonna make a. If they don't care, that kind of makes my point sound weird.
No. Go ahead. I'd like to hear it.
Well, we simply also something we haven't really done yet either. We haven't added anything to the penal code, so I definitely feel we need some sort of extradition violation charge that pertains to our county. But what these officers are doing, this would be a violation they commit in our county, and then they could be charged by an LSPD officer in violating extradition policy or whatever we want to call the penal code thing. Let's brainstorm on that. It doesn't matter what it's called.
That'd be kidnapping.
No, we don't want to use the. Okay, so it's not exactly kidnapping. I think we should professionalize it a little bit. Make the charge not as severe as kidnapping, but like they'll stop doing it.
Human theft.
No, just violation of extradition policy or something.
Yeah, with all that being said, even if the PD doesn't care, I care personally because it is our budget that we're dealing with.
Exactly. Thank you. And that's kind of this like crazy shit. I'm gonna like, I looked through the notes. So first off, I was already like, they've been talking shit about us like literally like doing all kinds of shit when I don't think we've done anything other than protect our people. And fucking Andy's over there sitting in the fucking car with BCSO all day, going to all these high command meetings, and they apparently have issues with us that they haven't brought up to us once. So
You know what? It is really weird how much time she spends in those cop cars and wanting to go to all the meetings. That's a little. Now that you mentioned that, I don't think I ever see her not with them.
well, it's actual in like chronic hypocrisy. Like
Well, what happens if she starts defrauding the government or something like that, and all these people are her friends?
well, here's
You
the
can't
thing.
have that relation. No offense, Nino.
She is okay. I'm gonna read this out loud. The note that I was given. This is based on the last meeting. So Daisy brought up like, why is Andy here? And you got to invite both the mayors, not just Andy, to these high command meetings, which I already think is kind of strange for the mayor to be in to begin with. Like, what are we trying to do? Like Max season 2, right? Like we legislate. We say we want you to do these based on policy. But the moment we're inside the fucking room, everyone's gonna feel a certain way, right?
Yeah.
You're now like it's like if I told Abby and Bill like right now they're gonna go work with Rami, and then I'm like, yep, I'm gonna show up at the meeting too, and I just sit there. Like, what do you think that's gonna? You know what I'm saying? Like, common fucking sense. But regardless, here's what was said in one of the meetings. First thing she said was that Andy's not opposed to Nino being at the meetings. As if it matters.
Yeah.
But his absence shouldn't mean she can't attend. So, first off, why are we needing to attend? And second off, what the fuck is her saying this? And number 3 is that the very principle of she's setting it up for let's have a high command meeting when Nino's not around, and then what? You know, that's how I read that. Like, these are fucking like loophole generation.
There's
It's
way
common
too
sense and
Smells
common
stinky.
decorum that we shouldn't be there. And secondly, if we do, you formally invite the mayors, not just who's there and who's not there. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, could you just have a conversation with Daisy and tell her to make those meetings by invite only?
I don't even want to like I don't even want to fucking like. Well, you know what I'm saying?
No offense. The mayor should not be part of police high command meetings, because what if they're
I agree.
investigating someone?
Exactly.
You know,
I agree.
there should be. Nino, I love you to death, but you should not have any involvement
In
within
internal
the PD.
matters.
Yeah,
Agreed.
exactly. You should
Yeah.
appoint management or policies, stuff like that. But you need to retain your integrity and clarity,
Agreed.
and be able to be investigated just like anyone else without
Yeah.
the pressure of he's going to show up at the fucking high command meeting.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
even if there's not an investigation, I think this is the same point you were going at, you know, with the idea of like, if you were present, would Daisy not feel a certain way given that you control her employment as chief of police?
Yeah. No, exactly. It's a very I think what's happening here is like severe. Look, there's no other way for me to chop it logically, is that these motherfuckers want their cake and they want to eat it too, right? They want to all go to Blaine and do whatever the fuck they want, Like, they ain't got no rules while they're letting the fucking county burn. And then, like, to me, it's like, with all due respect, there's like, they have 20 constituents up there, right? Like, I don't give a fuck what Blaine thinks or what Andi thinks at that scale of power she thinks she has. We have like fucking 500,000 people living in Los Santos. You know what I mean? Like, we owe it to them. Like, it's such a bare minimum obvious. Okay, you know what? Let me, we all know what I'm trying to say here. So let me go to the next thing. And I'm letting you guys know this because this is the tone we're dealing with. To continue with these notes, LSP is getting kickbacks from judicial bills, clerks, VAFs. I don't know what the fuck they're. None of that is actually true. I think they're arguing they don't have enough money or something.
Womp womp.
Oh yeah, Bones talks about operating under UPD command structure. Command being used universal.
What
LSP.
was the point of splitting the departments then?
Or the
Like,
county.
no, it's just the language he's using. It doesn't mean it's reality. He's just a bonehead.
Yeah.
There
Let's
is
see.
no UPD.
Yep.
That's my
Separate
point.
departments.
Yeah,
he's just
that-
a bonehead.
That's gonna fuck LSPD. I've seen this scenario multiple times where you have one department's command start bullying the other. It's fucking dumb as shit, but you know, that's not our place either. I didn't warn her, but at the end of the day, you know, if she wants to, you know, who are we to say? You know what I mean? She has a better understanding of things. I'm looking through this. I'm just they want to do code department certs. Okay, fine. Dispatch quit. Whatever.
Rest in peace. R.I.P. That's unfortunate.
What happened
Yeah.
with that? If anyone knows?
Just dumb shit. Fucking people that believe themselves to be more important than they really are.
All right.
What? The dispatches? No.
Oh,
No.
the moment I heard them say what they did at that meeting, I'm like, why these fucking
What are we
trash?
talking
Well,
about?
I guess my application's not going through them.
Wait, what'd they do?
Oh, I applied to them. It was one of the few jobs I didn't have to pay money to apply for. Speaking of which, where's the money go that officers collect when you apply to the PD?
Well, so that's kind of getting figured out right now. It's like in a lockbox somewhere.
Wait, what did they do at what meeting? You know?
Remember the first time we went there and they were talking about bonuses, and I overheard the dispatchers be like, "Oh, they're getting paid to do their job." It's like, are you stupid? You're getting paid the
Oh.
same amount for standing around doing dispatch, and these guys are going out on the field, like, and you're over here like fucking crying, fucking $3,500 an hour, fucking crybaby, fucking bitches.
Yeah, they're all rich too.
Yeah, it's just fucking unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. The jobs are hotter than those who are out in the field. So
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just it's I don't fuck with that.
it's hard to see
um,
what channel they're on. Womp womp.
Oh my god, there's so much. A lot of things here saying that they don't respect Moss. The whole chief of cadets thing is complete fucking AIDS. If I hear anyone talking about that, I'm gonna slap their bitch ass down. Like, if you want to, you know, use narratives from somewhere else, you know, I'm gonna call that out all day, every day.
Mhm.
These
Mediation
people
them.
need to learn to be adults. Otherwise, you know, they're gonna see how it's how you get treated like an adult when I speak with you. Let me see.
Anti-extradition's updated.
So here we go. So, they're inferring that I do not want to work with BCSO or Blaine County. Now, their fucking little peanut brains apparently This is based on me not wanting to have a meeting about interceptors an hour after, you know, getting into office. If they're going down this narrative, it's fucking cunty as shit. It's bad faith, and you know, I don't know if they realize how obvious they're sowing hatred, I think, among their officers and between both. So when they get slapped in the face with a bunch of this shit, you know, I don't know. It's this kind of shit I read, and it's almost like they're kicking their feet because they don't like what the feds decided.
And honestly, from my perspective, what it seems like to me is that they're instigating and doing this because they believe we're going to do something underhanded, but they haven't actually seen anything, so they're just preemptively being the shitty person instead.
They're gonna fuck around and find out though. If push comes to shove, that's the thing. Is like they need us more than we need them. So, ooh.
Yeah, well, I just
It'll
don't
be
like
messy.
it because I feel like, and this is where I go back to, like, I need to get clarity on things, because, like, when you have shit like this being tossed around over decisions made by the feds, like, it makes it very awkward for us to be like, well, this is the county. These are the jurisdictions, right? It becomes an argument of, you end up having to get into arguments that really knock on walls. Right, and I don't know why that's even being entertained, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's like low cognitive abilities that have them not realizing what sort of territory they're entering into. Am I making sense on why I'm saying what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. There's 2 separate meetings. Okay, I think that was it, but just understand that that's kind of in the background. Let's circle back to this Anti-Extradition Act.
I've made some updates. The formatting, I apologize for.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me, let's see. Let's remove the notion that they can be fired or terminated, just so it doesn't sound like we're dictating what the PD wants. What, like, you know, we'll leave it to them.
So for your LSPD, you don't want that in. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think the way to look at it there, Bill, is we'll let the DOJ and the departments decide how they handle the infractions. However, we should suggest that it may infer criminal charges. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, I want to flip this and say that this could be considered, what do we want to say it is?
How do you like how that reads then, with the just the general format of a criminal charge?
I don't think they should be trespassed, but yeah, subject to criminal charges. Yeah, and then we don't prescribe it. And let the lawyers cook on that.
If it's a felony, they would lose their job anyways, right?
They would, and that's why I'm thinking, like, instead of prescribing it, let it go through due process.
Yeah.
And that way, lawyers and the system can decide what that means.
Yeah.
Should it be subject to criminal charges and fines, or?
No. Criminal charges come with fines.
That ties back to creating a new penal code or two.
Mm-hmm.
That would suit that. I think it'll. I think using the word kidnapping or constantly having them charged with kidnapping is not a good look for anyone. It should reinforce the notion of these jurisdictions and that this is an extradition policy.
So it would just be an unlawful extradition, right? I feel
there
like
you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any LEO who removes an arrested detained suspect whom was arrested within Los Santos County and processes them outside of the county will be fined X and sentenced to X months.
I would
like it.
suggest making that half of kidnapping.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. I would like to see instead this go to court first and then see what the DOJ comes back with, right? So a lawyer could go in there and claim it's kidnapping. They could go in there and, you know, whatever. And then let's say the DOJ can't come up with something, we can then go down that route. Like I definitely agree that maybe there could be charges, but I feel like let's not cross into that line and let the city cook. And remember, we can always revise this. So if it turns out this isn't good enough, we can expand on it.
So leave it vague like it is now written in section 1.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Nino,
I
I've got,
don't like number 2 because we don't want to come in sounding like we're being dictating shit. Wait, give me one sec. What's going on, Vinny?
Hey, me and Kay are ready whenever you're good.
Okay. Yeah, you can come down, meet with my staff.
Where am I going?
What is your ping number?
1.
Actually, are you able to wait a little bit, or is now?
Me and Kay are gonna be wrapped up. I'd rather get it done now. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because we got
All
a
right.
lot of shit going on.
All right. Yeah, we got to talk mechanic and material.
Okay. Number 1.
All right.
All right. I'll let him know where to go, and I'll see you there.
All right. Easy. See you in a bit.
All right. Bye.
Is Rami around?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
All right. All right.
All right,
See you in a
bye.
bit. Bye.
That reminds me real quick. Are we doing Sunny Saturday tomorrow?
Yes, it's going to be a slightly reduced rate.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if Vinny told you, but I did meet with him yesterday. It got interrupted by an unscheduled tsunami, but we started that conversation about materials and mechanics yesterday.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Basically, the
Hey, Nino, how you
Just
doing?
one sec. Norman,
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Nino, how you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Good. For you. It's business related.
Mm-hmm.
I just spoke to an Alexander Bones, Funhouse Foods.
Yep.
Have you signed off on anything for him in the business app by any chance?
No. Business for stalls and all that is about to get posted to DOJ. But the TLDR is it's going to require food license and registry of a business and bookkeeping so it can be taxed.
Sure.
Why? What
No,
happened?
the reason I'm asking, right? I went to the business app and I looked up his application,
Mhm.
And it reads, mayor approved, judge approved. But the business itself was just never created for him,
Mhm.
Like others have been. So I'm wondering if this falls under our old legislation, and
I
if I can
think
just go ahead
so.
and
It's
approve
gotta
and
get-
create this for him,
No, I think it should be
or if this has to
rejected.
wait now for.
Everything's got to wait. Yeah.
Okay, it's got to wait now at this point.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We're cooking fast. My first 2 weeks was wasted in PD drama. And now, to give you an idea, we have 10 pieces of legislation, some of which has multiple things in it. So you guys are about to see some cool shit that's going to be dropping tonight.
Okay.
All right.
I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll let you get back to work.
Easy. All right.
Yep. Take
Talk
care.
to you in a bit. Well, I talked to Vinny and Kay about materials and shit. Could you guys review the aircraft zoning enactment, or pick one and kind of cook on it, and then I'll be right back.
Hey, real
Nino?
quick, what's the new percentage so I can make an ad for it?
The new percentage, just say
Sorry.
boosted.
Boosted, okay.
Yeah, anytime we're giving
just do
public
boosted.
announcements,
Shut the fuck up.
Hi, Mr.
Gentlemen,
K.
sorry, I didn't
we
know
don't
you
want to
were-
Dumb,
be
Nino. I'm sorry you gotta deal with that.
no, we don't want to be using any like
It's
specifics.
your fault.
Shut up.
The moment we start using specifics is where we get tied down to it when we may not be able to afford it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All right.
Understandable.
All
Nino,
right.
I've got to take off. I got 2 pieces of draft legislation there for you.
Okay.
One is on Sani, one is on the lottery. I was kind of hoping Eve would be around before we discussed it. So if you want to
I need to chat with her. She is on the verge of getting cut because she's my niece, love her to death, but she's skipping every meeting and COC's not moving forward, and I may just put Mina in place. So
Yep.
right.
Understood. Understood. Okay. So I'm gonna shelf any conversation on mine, and we can either pick it up later
yes.
today or tomorrow.
Actually, all right. I'm gonna have these guys focus on take a look at the lottery stuff and the what was the other one?
You said
It was on Sandy, but the Sandy one can kind of wait. It was just on
Okay.
expanded operation hours.
All right. I'll let you guys cook on that, and then when I get back, I'll just review it with you guys. All right.